When Korea's Joseon dynasty was founded in 1392, Seoul was designated its capital, and work began immediately to build a royal palace. The area between Namsan and Bugaksan mountains was deemed auspicious, and 3 years later, Gyeongbokgung, or the palace greatly blessed by heaven, was completed. For the next 200 years, the palace was the heart of the dynasty until it was destroyed by the Japanese invasions of the late 16th century. Essentially abandoned over the next 2.5 centuries, the palace was rebuilt in grand style in 1868. Over 300 buildings covering 64 hectares formed a small city. But in a cruel replay of history, Japanese colonial forces destroyed over 90% of the palace in 1915. To further humiliate the Korean people, an enormous government general building was erected in front of Gyeongbokgung to obscure it from view. But since 1990, significant restoration has occurred, including the removal of the government general building in 2006 and the reconstruction of several palace structures. And frankly, it would be odd if Gyeongbokgung weren't on your Seoul itinerary because it provides excellent insight into Korean culture. For example, unlike the power emphasized by Chinese palace architecture, the Joseon aesthetic emphasizes grace. Each roof corner is fitted with a chunyo, a curved rafter that raises the edge and prevents the roof from looking heavy. Most of Gyeongbokgung's important buildings lie along a central axis. The sight line links Gwanghwamun Gate with the main throne hall, reception hall, and the king's residence. The throne hall, named Gunjeongjeon, is where Joseon's kings were coronated, but it was also where affairs of state were conducted. 4 times per month, the king summoned all civil and military officials to the courtyard. Stone markers designate where officials sat, resting on cushions made of leopard, tiger, sheep, or dog skins, depending on one's rank. Inside the hall is a towering ceiling painted in remarkable detail. 2 golden dragons swirl at its center. The palace's western side includes a huge 2-story building called Gyeonghwaeru. Jutting out into a large pond, the graceful pavilion once held extravagant events, but today carp swim lazily around the twin islands. Perhaps the palace's most beautiful building is Hyangonjeong. The hexagonal pavilion is located on a small island. For some 600 years, a natural spring has filled the pond, whose placid surface reflects the pavilion and trees. At the far north end of the compound are interesting buildings relocated from Changdeokgung. Once used as a library and reception hall, Jibokje and Parujong incorporate many Chinese characteristics. Another notable building is Geuncheonggung, a special palace within a palace built for King Gojong and his wife Queen Myeongsong. Tragically, the original site was where the queen was murdered by Japanese assassins in 1895. Recently rebuilt, it was open to the public in 2007. Beyond the impressive buildings are long stretches of lawn punctuated by Korean pine, azaleas, and peonies. The grounds are a wonderful place to bring a book. Also on site are the National Palace Museum and the National Folk Museum of Korea. The latter, located beneath a blue-tiled 5-story pagoda, features excellent exhibits on the history of the Korean people. Signage is superb and access is free. Gyeongbokgung's main entry gate, Gwanghwamun, is undergoing repair, but in 2010 both the gate and a new central plaza will be open to visitors. And to guard against any future mishap, Stone Hete, a mythical fire-eating creature, are standing watch. Well, that's it for this edition of Seoul Scene. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Kelly.